I want to ask you, 35 years ago, you said the problem of Africa in general and Uganda in particular is not the people, but leaders who want to overstay in power. And there you are going for a sixth term. Why do you think that's a good thing?
I mean, what do you think of the young people who do want change, who want someone else to govern? Do you think that that's not sensible? That was what you wanted as a rebel leader.
No, me, I did not. I was actually dying to work with old people.
He never answers questions directly. He deflects, engages in whataboutism, offers unsolicited lectures, and gaslights the interviewer, always.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Leaders who want to overstay in power. Words of Yoweri Museveni when he had just ascended to power. What is his excuse now to legitimize his overstay in power?
Now, you've seen that your country has now changed the two-term rule.
I should pause to tell you. At first, they amended the constitution of the Republic of Uganda by removing the term limits. The man you see on the screen bribed members of parliament then in 2005 with each given 5 million shillings to betray the constitution. Term limits were removed.
Changed the age limit.
And when it came to the age limit, Museveni deployed his jack-booted thugs into the Ugandan parliament. They beat up members of parliament. They brutalized many. And the constitution of the Republic of Uganda was forcefully amended. Museveni used the elite soldiers under the Special Force Command that protects him were deployed in Ugandan parliament to make sure that the constitution is amended so that Museveni can stay in power. What is his excuse now to stay in power?
And there you are going for a sixth term. Why do you think that's a good thing?
You should check your facts. It is the fifth fastest growing economy in the whole world.
You know, at first when he said the problem of Africa leaders who overstay in power, he didn't say when their economies are booming and thriving. Absolutely not. But I will address his claims. Uganda is one of the most poorest countries in the world. I don't know where he gets his statistics, but he's a liar, as we've all known for him to be.
You should check your facts. It's about to become a middle-income country.
He's been promising Uganda to become a middle-income country since I don't know how many years.
Now, regarding the politics, the management of society, yes, I said staying in power for a long time without democracy.
His excuse now is without democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, during the 2021 elections, and we can go back, there was a time when he was running against Kizza Besigye. As we speak right now, Kizza Besigye, who used to be Museveni's main opponent, is in prison. He was abducted from Kenya and is being kept in prison for more than 1 year. Then in 2021, Bobi Wine was brutalized, many of his supporters and close allies killed. He was placed under house arrest. And in 2026, Museveni is doing the same thing. He said that the problem of Africa, what he meant was the problem with what the problem of Africa was leaders who overstay in power extra-constitutionally. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the face of that man. He's right there. Without democracy.
Without democracy, mark those words. But if it is the democratic will of the people.
I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he never said without democracy. He's engaging in revisionist history. Now, I know many of you are heartbroken. Many Ugandans who have been wanting to see change. And your heartbreak goes beyond probably what you thought it would feel like. The African Union has once again engaged in legitimizing a brutal, dictatorial, tyrannical government. It has released a statement congratulating Yoweri Museveni. I'll go on and show you here. Information and Communication Directorate. Chairperson of the African Union Commission commends the conduct of elections in Uganda and congratulates President Yoweri Museveni on re-election. Commends the conduct of elections in Uganda. This is the African Union, an organization that was started in 1963 to help Africa to chart a way after so many years of colonialism where citizens' rights were abused and many countries were receiving their independence. Many of them, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, Haile Selassie, and others said, you know, it would be a brilliant idea to come together as African countries to build a bond that is going to help chart a new path for these countries so that we do not look like our former colonizers. Only for these guys, the liberators, to be worse than those that had colonized us for so long. They are right here now, legitimizing Museveni. They are commending the conduct of the election that was marred by violence, placing a political opponent into house arrest. But you won't be surprised. The same people did the same when it came to Tanzania. After over 3,000 people were killed, Samia Suluhu kept a firm grip on power by rigging an election and keeping her political opponent in prison. The African Union came up with a statement. Chairperson of the African Union Commission congratulates His Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan on election victory, reaffirms support for Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where you're watching me from, but we are on our own. We have to save ourselves. There's not going to be any other country coming to help us. It's going to be us. Because these organizations and individuals, we thought that they could be with us. They are accomplices in our brutalization, our suppression, our repression. They are friends, allies of our tormentors. It is really sad. And if you're watching me from Uganda, it is really easy to break your heart. But I've told you every time I'm presenting here, I usually have these words with me. Words of Martin Luther King Jr. We must accept the finite disappointment, but never lose hope or never lose infinite hope. Do not lose hope. And how do we make sure we don't lose hope? We just have to keep going. We just have to keep going, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way out. We have to rise up non-violently and demand for what is rightfully ours. So as we are getting disappointed over what we see, the disappointment is finite. What is infinite is that hope that we have to save ourselves, our countries, our continent, and the entire world. And now, it takes me to one of the best poems I've ever read in my life. Langston Hughes writes, Mother to Son. I think I should read you that poem. Ladies and gentlemen, let this be a comforter. Please, let this be your couch in this particular moment, especially if you are from Uganda. Watch there. mother to son, Langston Hughes. He says, well, son, I tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time has been climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now. For I still going, honey. I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Life ain't gonna be crystal stair, ladies and gentlemen. Especially when you're dealing with a criminal regime of Yoweri Museveni. Life ain't gonna be crystal stair. But we don't have an opportunity. We don't get a chance of giving up. Because giving up is losing. And we ain't losing. That's Langston Hughes for you. I'll read it one more time. Well, son, I tell you. Well, Ugandan, I tell you. Well, Tanzanian, I tell you. Well, Ghanaian, I tell you. Well, Nigerian, I tell you. Well, Ethiopian, I tell you. Oh, Ukrainian, I tell you. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. The fight for freedom has never been a crystal stair. It's had tacks in it. It's going to have tacks in it all the time. And splinters and boards torn up and places where with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time has been climbing on. That's what we've got to do. And reaching landings and turning corners and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't be no light. So boy, so Ugandan, so Kenyan, so Liberian, so Somali, so Ethiopian, so Sudanese. Don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now. For I still going, honey. I still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Our fights for freedom wasn't a crystal stair. Our founding leaders sacrificed lives. They kept fighting over and over again. They were disappointed. Many sacrificed lives. Careers. Many were maimed. But I kept going. I usually talk about the fact that I am here in the USA. Not afraid that I'm going to be killed. Could it happen? Absolutely yes. But I'm here to enjoy some of the freedoms here because of the sacrifices that were made by people that I wasn't related to. There's no giving up. Wesley Laurie writes in the book, They Cannot Kill a Soul. He says, giving up shouldn't be an option. And I'll go and probably read you that. Those are verbatim what he says. I got a book here. Well, this is a longer conversation. You can watch the entire thing by heading over to my YouTube channel, Mordecai Marisa Live, where we see the African continent once again, the African Union, not the African continent, the African Union once again betraying the African continent by legitimizing the regime of Yoweri Museveni. More on this on the YouTube channel, Mordecai Marisa Live.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marisa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.